Good morning. Today is the 21st of February 2025 and I'm going to go through levels I'm watching today. Before I start, I'm going to quickly just see what news could move the market. 9:45, no news before the market opens. 9:45 we've got S&P PMI, that's normally can move the market, and then we've got home sales at 10 a.m. and then we do have some Fed speakers today as well at 11:30. So quite a lot going on, so just be a bit wary of these times. If you look at the live stream, I do have the news also listed on the live stream, which you can see in the middle here. Just gives you a general idea as a reminder of what's going on. Okay, so levels today. On my screen we're looking at the ES, and we're going to start off with the daily time frame. Another inside day today. Yesterday we started as an inside day, and we saw a big move down, big bottom tail as well. Depends how you see the market. I think any bottom tails like this at the top end of a market, especially with declining volume, shows a sign of weakness. So potentially, with our first sign of weakness in the market, and we talked about the market's phases. We've got this sideways phase, we've got this buying phase, and then is this the first sign of weakness before we start moving down? Either continue or start a new phase down, or are we showing signs that buyers are here, and whenever the price gets driven down, the buyers are buying back up? But notice a lack of follow through over the previous day candle. Also look at the volume as well. So we've got 3 green days in a row, relatively low volume. First time we've had a red candle, red day. We've got higher volume, so we've definitely got more buyers sitting up there right now. But with that in mind, let's just drop down to the hourly time frame, and that's 4 hour, 1 hour. Here we go. Okay, so I've just put a few extra levels in. We've got another area to watch today for a bounce. We look at this level yesterday. I took this, in fact I had a good day yesterday, decent day. I stuck with my plan, I didn't mess around. I took the break and retest off pre-market low, didn't quite come back up, came into that zone, and I managed to get it down to previous day's low. That was me out of that trade, and then I saw it come down into this area of demand. Didn't take it there, I waited, it came back down, still didn't take it, I waited, and then as it pulled back I managed to get an entry there, and I averaged in there, and my average price was down here, and I took it up to the VWAP, and that was me done. I generally like to have my trading done by midday, maybe 12:30 the latest. Here in the UK it's 5 hours later, that's like 5 PM, so I don't really want to be trading past 5 PM because I work in the mornings as well and it's a long day. Areas to watch today. Generally we've got this area here, 61.48, smack bang in the middle, so just keep an eye on 61.46 through to 61.50. The reason I've got that zone is I drop down to I find the zones in the hourly, and then I drop down to the 15 just to mark it up. And you can see in the 15-minute we've got this big move down during market hours. I generally only want to do market hours as my zones, and then so I mark up the previous opposite colour. So we had the move up, and then we saw that violent reaction down, so that's our current area of supply. Yesterday's high as well, 61.50, so this is an area I'm watching for a rejection, and a bit like this move yesterday when it came down, pulled back up, came back down, pulled back up, then I looked for my entry, then I looked, and I've got another better entry there. I'll be doing something similar today. If we can get up into this zone, I'm looking for it to come in, tap the zone, get into the zone, breach it somehow, come back out. That won't be my entry because I want confirmation, because we're in this uptrend. I want to see it go back in but not put a new high in, so 61.48 area maybe. So I want to see it not putting a new high, come back out, then kind of retest it, kind of show the weakness there, and I'll be watching that on the 5-minute chart. So that's how I will take that entry, and the same if we move into this zone. So there's a few demand zones we can watch. We've got this one, this is the closest one, happens to have a level we've been watching for a few weeks in that area as well. And look at that yesterday. Yesterday we came down, came back up, kind of retest that level, lost it, retested it there again. So that level is definitely still in play. Broke out, came back and retested it. And where that level come from, it's been there for some time. It is tops of that pivot there, areas of confluence as well, tops of pivots, bottoms of these pivots, and I've just had it in place for probably about a month. And look, it's still in play now, that level, and it was very much in play yesterday. I was out of my trade. In fact, I used that as my out, so that's where I got out yesterday. But had I just kept my stop loss there, even my break even was down here. I think my stop was low of the day. I could have ran it up, but again, I'm trying. I've had a few losing days in a row, so I'm just trying to just book some profit in. So overall, I did 2R yesterday, so I had a 1R move here, but I used little risk. So I used half risk, or it might have been a third risk. So it wasn't even 1R. I'd probably made about 3 or 4R here. I probably made about 3 or 4R here. But had I had full risk on, that would have been a good trade. And same today, because I don't want to get too cocky. I had green down, I had a few red days. I'm going to be doing half risk as well today. So just want to get back into the flow of green days. Areas to watch if we lose these zones. If we break out of yesterday's high, then we've got this big area of supply above here. And again, we had this big area down here. We can watch this area for a bounce as well if we lose this area. But you know, it's end of the week. Don't want to be on a losing day at the end of the week. So just I'm going to keep any entries. I'm going to keep it tight and just trail out. And exactly what I did here. I trailed out on the 5 minute, and that's how I took my stop. Excuse me. Obviously, the only other play, I call it my bread and butter play, like the one I took yesterday, and that is the break and retest of pre-market high and pre-market low. And for these, I'm looking for the market to break out, come back in and retest, and then push up. Yesterday's a bit different. It put in this big wide range candle, and it broke just a little bit below pre-market low. So then, as soon as I saw it pull back up, and I saw that it closed below, I took my entry there. So I didn't really wait for the daylight. I like a daylight gap. For example, I want to see it push out, come back, and repull it with an air gap between. I call that an air gap. Yes, it was different because that's such a big move, and I just wanted to catch it and I called it down. And today, if we have a big green move in and we close above pre-market high, I'll try and look for a pullback. If we close slightly above pre-market high and it looks like a solid move and cumulative delta is also in the right direction, then I'll probably look to take a small entry on the close of that candle, so it'll be there. So let's look at SPY next. Again, I've marked up the new supply zone based on yesterday's sell-off, that area there. So we can keep an eye on 61.40 through to 61.80 area. Yesterday's high is 611. I meant, sorry, 68. In an uptrend, you can see this hourly. Oh, that's a 15. Let's go back into the hourly because I prefer the hourly. Here we go. So we're in an hourly uptrend. You can see that quite clearly, and you know, we don't really want to be taking rejections unless we break down and come back up. We want to see a change of market structure, a shift in the market. A bit like here when I took yesterday's one, it came down, came back up, new and higher low. Didn't put a new low in, so something's happening, and I want to watch the same here as well. We are currently above the hourly 50. I like to use that as a mark of institutional support. If we're trading above the hourly, or maybe and definitely the daily 50, then potentially we've got the institutions in looking for longs. If we're below it, then the institutions are looking for shorts. Levels on SPY today. Let's keep an eye on 61, 611.50 rejection, 613 area for the rejection as well. Same rules as I just explained in ES. Bounce wise, that is now invalid. Drop down to the 15. We can probably find a couple of zones. Just keep an eye on that zone there for the bounce. Could keep an eye on that zone, but more with this, the reason I like that zone because it overlaps this zone as well. So just keep an eye on that zone potentially for a bounce. We have got the point of control where all the volume is running through that area, and we got yesterday's a pivot from a couple of days ago. So potentially we could watch 610 for a bounce as well, that area there, pre-market low. I didn't check to see what it looked like on ES. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so we do have that area, so let's just mark that out. So pre-market low can have 2 trades today we can watch for. We can watch for the break and retest, bearing in mind we're breaking down into that area of demand, or we can watch it for a bounce. And obviously that'd be going with the hourly trend. We are with the daily trend as well. So let's go back to the daily to remind ourselves of the trend. Massive, but we're still in an uptrend. And until we break down and we lose this level, we're always in an uptrend. So we're basically just doing that. You know, and we could just be going sideways right now, waiting for the moving averages to catch up. Eventually they will. It did here. It didn't really go sideways there. And we're above, notice we're above the 50 and we're above the 200. So we've got to be looking for more longs and shorts while we're up here, especially if you're doing swing trades. Let's look at SPX. Just there's a message from Charles. Good morning, Charles. Hope you are well. Hope you had a good day yesterday. Weekend, so we don't want to do anything too silly today. I'm going to try and keep it really easy. I passed another PA account yesterday on Apex, so I've got my PA account enabled, but I'll probably only trade that with A+ setups. That's all I'm looking for, A+ setups now. Easier said than done though. SPX hourly. I was saying, why are my levels not there? Here we go. So we've got another level we can keep an eye on. This all-time high area. Remember, these are zones, not lines, so we can watch that area there. We've got this area here. Look at where we are right now. We kind of came into that area and rejected it yesterday. We've got this area here. Potentially that area there as well. So these are areas to watch. And again, I play it if I'm looking for a long and I really want to see the market come back down, SPX come into an area where we could see a bounce, then that will act as an extra confirmation on ES or SPY for a long. If I'm trying to go long and the market's coming into a potential rejection area, you know, you're going against the SPX and it's going to be much harder trying to take that short, to take it long when you might get a rejection. So I'll keep an eye on these SPX levels, they're more as confirmation. SPY, NQ I meant. So this could be a significant, oh hang on, let's draw it again properly. Look at that trend line. Are we going to break it and push up, or are we going to honour that trend line and come back down again? Who knows? Just bear that in mind. So pre-market highs, keep an eye on pre-market high break and retest into this overhead area of supply. We've got pre-market low. Look at that for a level. Let's draw it as a zone. We've got pre-market low today, bottoms of those pivots there, bit of an area of confluence, and if we go across to over here, we've got a couple of pivots as well we can watch for potential bounce. So pre-market low might be a good bounce area, 22,100, 103. Otherwise, keep an eye on yesterday's low for a bounce. That's our current supply zone. And if we drop down to the 15, let's draw something in. So we've got, oh yeah, sorry, I put this zone in earlier. So we've got 22,280, 22,300 for a potential rejection today. I think that's what we just looked at. And then for bounce, let's just put the extremities in. Last time we had a big move up, big move down. We've got a couple of pivots here we can keep an eye on. Maybe that area there. Excuse me, we've got that area there, but this is the bigger move, a smaller candle, and then we saw a big wide range candle. So let's keep an eye on this 22,800 pre-market low area for a potential bounce. We come back down into that region. We can watch it for 2 trades. A bounce happens to be on this area of confluence. Although the volume is reducing in that area, so maybe we won't see much of a bounce. But obviously we've got this zone we can watch for it to come in and come out of. And obviously we get down into yesterday's low area. We can watch this area for a potential bounce as well. I can't really find a supply zone just there. Go down into the 5. There's a wide supply zone. Let's mark it off. Do you know what? It's not even a decent supply zone. Probably that area there. So you can see, came in, biggish move up, came back and held that area. So that's an area to watch for potential bounce as well. QQQ. I know we're on the 5 minute. We're still holding that trend line there. Let's go back up to the hourly. So we can get rid of that zone there because we breached it a couple of times. So QQQ, let's draw it in now. So this is quite a decent area to watch. I do like this for a rejection. So there's 540.20 to 540.78 area for rejection. Again, when I draw my zones, I only draw them during market hours only, not during pre-market. So if we see like, I know we've got that zone marked up from previously. We've got this zone marked up as well as on previous. In fact, let's mark it up now. That's a bounce area. Got this area of confidence where you can bounce yesterday's high. And where's pre-market though? Oh wow, it's all the way down here. So if we get down to pre-market low, then we would have broken this hourly, this 15-minute trend. Let's see what it looks like on the hourly. Doesn't look as scary on the hourly. So pre-market low, break and retest short. It's also a bounce area because a big area of confluence, a little bit of volume. Pre-market high, break and retest, although we're breaking it into the area of overhead supply where we're watching for rejection. And I do quite like this area here for a bounce, 528 to 529. We've got bottom tails. We've got some liquidity here. Look at these bottom tails coming down. Hasn't quite taken it out yesterday. So if we can come back down into this region here, come up for a bounce, this would be the really good entry if we can get that. And then it comes back down. I'll be really interested in an entry there. Want to see it take out that liquidity there and potentially this zone. And then I still won't take it when it comes in. So I want to see it do something like that, come back, touch it, maybe come back down to that area, and I'll be looking for a long as we break out over that pivot there. I'm looking for value, so I want to see it come back down with no more follow through. So keep an eye on yesterday's low for liquidity grab. I want to see it come down, pull back up, come back down, poke into that area for the bounce. Oil. Let's just see 1 second. Oil, we are still in this sideways zone. Let's watch this area. The only place I watch 70-50 for the bounce. That's all I'm watching. Break and retest pre-market low. Hard to do break and retest of pre-market high because we're coming into this area, busy area. Was supply. But look at this. Are we looking at a head and shoulders pattern? Whether that's a shoulder there or whether this is the shoulder here. Oh, that's not a very good drawing. That's our neckline. That's our neckline there. You can just about make out the head and shoulders pattern. And then break and retest short. So keep an eye on that. But I do quite like the bounce down here at 70-50. We've been down there a few times. If we don't take out that low, then we can watch for the bounce down here. In fact, we've got we can probably make a better adjustment to the zone. We've got, oh no, let's keep where we are. Keep where we are, so we're taking in those tails. If we get above yesterday's high, break and retest long. 73.14 that is. Now we're looking at gold. And look at this, it's that pattern again, we see it everywhere. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, breakdown, retest. So let's just zoom in a bit. You can see our neckline, this region here. If we break down, we've got to get below this pre-market low. So I do quite like the break and retest of pre-market low. Maybe if we get back down, come back up into that region. Could take a higher risk rejection to keep that trend down. maybe up here, pre-market low. As we hit come into that area, we do have a little bit of a volume shelf up there as well, but it's high risk. It's not one I'll take, but we could watch for this potential move like that. If we break out over pre-market high, it's going to be hard trying to get over that 50 moving average, but if we do, watch it for the long. And then we've got our rejection area, yesterday's high again. Otherwise, we're back down into this region, 2890, 2900, psychological number, 2900. So watch that for a bounce as well. I want to see it come back in. Basically do exactly what it's done here. Look at this, it's come into the zone, come back out and retested it, come back out, attempted to get down, no follow through. That's our entry there. Long, look at that big move up. That's what I'll be watching for. RTY, I had an alert go off this morning, I think on RTY. Oh no, that's YM, we'll get to that in a minute. RTY, trend line, oh, rubbish trend line. Trend line there, broken. So let's watch for a break and retest a pre-market high. Got to get over this volume point of control and big area of confidence here, where we've got bottoms of pivots, tops of pivots, and that area where we saw the big sell-off. Potentially, we can watch this area for rejection. That is a area of supply. Let's mark it up. This region here, and we're in it right now. So if we do something like that, come back up and retest it, we could look for something like that. If we break out, we've got to get over that pivot really for me to even consider a break and retest into that area. So let's see how we get. And if we come back down into yesterday's low, watch that area for a bounce. And then YM, I had an alert go off for that. Oh, look at that. So what was the alert? It was, I think it was that breakdown here. So it's not looking great. We're right in this area here, this area of confluence. So we can watch for a potential double bottom there. 44,100, let's mark it up. Otherwise, if we lose pre-market low, I do quite like the break and retest a pre-market low into this void. When I say void, look at that lack of volume there. And we don't have anything really until we get back down into this region. So potentially we could see that run down. And then finally Bitcoin. Oh, wow, look at that. A break of market structure. That's what we've been waiting for. Talked about this yesterday. So that's our downtrend. It depends how you want to draw it. You could draw it like that as well. We broke out, came back and retested it. Look, retested at 200. That's a great entry. Retested pre-market low and that pivot there. And now we're about to, we put in a new high in the pre-market. So what would be my entry today? And we talked about this bottom pattern as well yesterday. I said keep an eye on this because it looks like a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern. And look what's happened. It was exactly that. We broke out, came back and we retested it yesterday's low. So I do quite like the bounce at yesterday's high, where we're heading towards right now. Break and retest a pre-market high as well. We got our overhead demand. Is that 100,000? 100,000. We're not far off actually. Keep an eye on 100,000. We've got to try and get past that. If we break 100,000, then potentially we've got all the way up to 102,500. If we lose yesterday's low, then we can watch for the bounce back down here at 93,400. I did add to my Bitcoin small position down here. I think it was about there, 93,500. So that's doing okay. Every time it comes, dips back down, I'm trying to add at these key areas. 92, 93 is a key area. 100 is a key area as well. If we can get over that area, I'll probably look to do a break and retest add. And that's it really. But right now, we've got our new highs. I'm not quite sure where we're heading. I think that's it. My phone's ringing, so I might just grab that. And then cumulative delta wise, let's look to the left. Here we go. So it's my left hand screen. Look at this, there's a bit of a divergence. We've got lots of aggressive buying coming in right now. Bear in mind it's pre-market volume, but the price has basically just gone sideways. This is putting in new higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, low, and this is just doing nothing. It's putting a couple of higher points there, just going sideways. And yesterday, it was key yesterday when I went for the bounce off of the you can see quite clearly when I went for the bounce off of that area of supply down here. Take a look at the cumulative delta. So price was selling off, cumulative delta sold off, and then it just started buying, putting in higher highs, higher highs. I added down here purely because we were putting in higher highs on the cumulative delta, whereas the price was just going sideways. And that was my entry down here, and I was watching cumulative delta, and there was no, I shouldn't have even got out because there was no signs of any sellers coming in. There's no aggressive selling, and I just didn't like the pullbacks, and I just got out. I just trailed the 5 minute. But that's something to keep an eye on. That's why cumulative delta is quite an important thing to keep an eye on. Right now, we can see right now we're getting more aggressive buying where the sellers coming in. And that's it, I think. Let's go back to my main screen, just recap the levels I'm watching for today, and then I'll document this in my own trading journal. So to recap, I'm watching for a rejection of this zone, and that's around 61.50, rejection of 61.65, 61.60 area, this region. Watching for this 15-minute supply zone bounce, which is around pre-market low down to 61.25, and then if we get back down into this region here, I'm going to be watching for a double bottom yesterday's low. That's it. Trade safe. Remember, it's Friday. Don't do anything stupid, and I will be back Monday. I will be on the live stream, which is the one we just showed, the order flow stream. So any queries or questions or anything else you want me to cover, just message me on there. Okay, thank you for watching. If you find value, don't forget to hit the like button, and that helps with the Google algorithms. And then next week I'll have an announcement to make about the Discord. I've created a Discord room. I'm just setting it up now, and hopefully I'm about to go live for that soon as well. And I'll do some live trading in there as well, and then we can share trades, set our monthly goals, and actually make it work for us. Right, thanks for watching, and I will be back Monday.